What is happening, my good people? Greetings. How are you? How's it going? How's everybody doing out there? What is the latest and greatest? Hope everybody's doing well, feeling fantastic and excellent spirits here on a Wednesday, December the 17th. You already know what the date is. And to think, a week from today will be Christmas Eve. Then the week after that, New Year's Eve. And I know I talked about a couple of things last week on the live stream, which I will get to and unpack at the back end. Obviously, nothing was official last week, even though I was exuberant as far as me coming out to say that, oh, I'm thinking about doing my podcast on a live stream, or oh, my New Year's Eve one, which is still on deck as far as what it is that I want to do. And trust me, that one is going to be epic. I have to run a couple of tests prior to just to make sure that it will run smoothly, because just to give you a little bit of a hint, it's not going to be held here in the friendly confines of my apartment. It's going to be actually outdoors. So just keep that in mind. But obviously, I'll have a lot more to reveal as we get closer. I will do a Christmas Eve one, same time. I don't know what everybody is going to be up to. What are their plans? If they're going to be traveling, etc. I understand that you'll probably watch on your phone or your laptop, tablet, or maybe even on your TV for that matter. But of course, you could take me wherever you're going to go. If it's a thing where the day's going to get away from people, I mean, whoever wants to join, wants to join. I could try to tinker the time a little bit. I'll stick to 12 noon when we get to a week from today, but that's something that we'll worry about on the back end. But I do want to make a note of that now to inform everybody that I didn't forget about some of the things that I talked about last week that I do want to discuss and even unpack a little bit further at the back end. So that's where we got to start. Obviously, share your thoughts to the usual suspects or the Reels Rockers, my faithful that come in each and every week, and you know who you are. Share a comment. You know, I'll post it on screen. If you're new to this live stream, welcome aboard. And also, if you have anything that you want to share, say, debate, you name it, obviously just post it there and I'll be able to put it up on screen for everybody to see. For those watching the replay, it's a thing where if you don't feel like you're going to contribute, you can. Please leave a comment. I'll be more than happy to follow up afterwards. Obviously, this is going to be posted on the YouTube channel. I'm also on Twitch too. JReels1, just the number 1 afterwards. No ONE, no #1, just JReels1. Somebody took the name JReels. How dare them? But that's all right. For those who are on Twitch, obviously on YouTube, I'll always have the live stream on here. And I need to plug the Twitch a little bit more, because I know for the young folk out there, as I'm trying to branch out, trying to do so many different things, trying to just reach all the masses, as many people as I possibly can, because 2026 will be a big year. And what is going to be different about next year than this year? Well, you're just going to have to find out and see for yourself, because yes, if I thought this was going to be an important year, well, next year is going to be literally a boom or bust. And that's not to say that, oh, if I go bust, that I'm going to stop doing the live streams or the podcast nonsense, but it is going to be imperative. And like I said, you just got to stay tuned to find out how it's all going to unfold and what to look for and all the other things that are going to take place here with the, not only just with the live stream, but also with the podcast channel, etc. All right, so I see I have Baker's Dozen. Now I have a dozen, 12 people. Welcome aboard. I appreciate you guys and gals. I see a couple of comments here. And let me start off by saying, oh, all right, Pickle, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thanks for hopping on board. Of course, subscribe to the channel here on YouTube, or if you're through Twitch, subscribe there too. And let's see. I know there's a few comments. I don't know who's in the room just yet. Oh, yeah, she is. So you know what? Before I even begin, I know Tatsuya. Where's this comment right here? We're going to get to this, Tatsuya, I promise. Where is it? Because they also had the Twitch comments here, which I kind of like. Legitimate nightmare. Yes, I know. We're talking about the Mets. And before I even get to that, I got to put up what J-Rod has to say about his lovely wife. Happy birthday, 42 years old, 42 years young for that matter. And generally what I like to do, and I'll sprinkle a little bit for Fishing Angel as I segue to my first comment. Let me just scroll here to post it up. So for Fishing Angel, Jackie Robinson. I mean, does it get any better than that when you look at that number? Mariano Rivera, of course. That's probably 1 and 1A when it comes to number 42s. Kevin Love, who wore that number. Tony Allen, Remember the Celtics way back when, who also wore that number, and there's countless other 42s that I could probably get into. But happy birthday to you, Fishing Angel. May you celebrate this day. May you show a lot of gratitude for having another year of existence on this planet. To be able to be here to share it with us, with me, is an honor. It's a pleasure. I thank you. And your wonderful husband, J-Rod, for your unwavering support. But forget about that. Happy birthday to you. May you enjoy this day to the fullest with many more to come. Celebrate it. And listen, I wish I had some coconut water for you. This is just H2O, so cheers to you. As I should take a sip since I did that. So I hope you have a wonderful birthday and wishing many more for you. Hopefully have 420 more. If we could all be fortunate to live to be, what would they, if you do the math? 420. 484. Could you imagine? Well, anyway, I'm just happy that you're here, and obviously happy birthday to you. Now, Tatsuya, is Steve Cohen's casino the reason why the Mets are acting like a small market team? You know what's interesting about that? I'm sure that is part of the reason because, mind you, before he bought the team, was there any talk of a casino? That's similar to when, if you remember Brett Yormark, when he had his connection with the Brooklyn Nets before they got the Barclays Center and then obviously everything that was built around it, where at first it was all about the basketball team. Oh, we want to move to Brooklyn. We want it to be a part of New York City, part of the 5 boroughs. So, bring the Nets back to New York. Because remember, when they were in the ABA, they were the New York Nets, but they played out in Long Island. So you heard all that. But then when the inner workings of, there's going to be a housing development, or there's going to be high-rise apartments, which obviously have all the bells and whistles, all the amenities, etc. The shopping malls, a lot of what downtown Brooklyn over there prior to the Barclays Center, nobody even thought about. Whereas with Steve Cohen, nobody thought about a casino. When you think of casinos, you think of Mohegan Sun, you think of going to Uncasville, obviously Atlantic City if you live here in the Northeast. Nobody was thinking that, there's going to be a Hard Rock casino. And I get it to have the Empire City in Yonkers Raceway, or the former Yonkers Raceway, about a 15-minute drive from where I live. Or I know on the Aqueduct, there's that casino that's out there. So now to think that there's going to be a Hard Rock out in Flushing, yeah, I mean, it definitely does smell fishy. But here's the thing. I know he's a businessman first. And I get it that whatever it is that he's going to do to build around Citi Field, because as you know right now, it is literally a ghost town. Now, I also understand, too, is that they're building the soccer stadium for the NYCFC, and they also have a couple of high-rise buildings there. And off into the distance, closer to Main Street, you see some shopping areas and a couple of the luxury buildings that have been constructed out in that area. But, yeah, it does smell fishy, but that's still 5 years down the road. So that shouldn't be anything that I don't want to say worry. That shouldn't be anything that he could be overly concerned about. He needs to worry about the baseball team now. Forget about what's being built 5 years from now, or forget about what's coming down the pike. And I get it. He's been a businessman his whole life, and he's a billionaire for a reason. But the thing is that, and I kind of hate to say it this way, the next quote-unquote ethical billionaire that you're going to meet is going to be the first. And that's not to say that Steve Cohen is a bad person. That's not to say that he's unruly. That's not to say that he's a guy that you can't trust. Well, maybe I should take that back considering the baseball team. But with that being said, he's always going to look for the next big thing, the next project, the next job. And listen, the guy's worth what, $20 billion? He can't burn all the money that he has because he'll still have plenty left. So, I mean, he should be focused in first and foremost about this team, and without getting even deeper into the weeds. So there is a part of me that's, yeah, it does smell fishy, but the other part is that that's still 5 years down the road. So to answer your question, they're acting like a small market team. That you're absolutely right. But is that the main reason why? I can't say that is right now. I cannot. So, and yes, J-Rod, she's agent like, yes, without question. And to Fishing Angel, you're welcome. My pleasure. So for that, and then, yes, a lot of thanks, a lot of love in the room. I love it. David Stern, get off your backside and sign. Yes, exactly. I totally agree with that because the Jorge Polanco signing is not going to get the Met fan riled up. All right. And I don't want to hear, oh, Murakami's going to cost this much. Well, you spent $765 million on Juan Soto, and you are the richest owner in baseball. And I don't want to hear that he's going to start penny pinching now because, we have a budget. What is happening in Los Angeles? Defer the money. And of course, Murakami is not going to want deferred money, I would think. But still, I mean, this is why the Dodgers have been successful. This is why they won 2 World Series, and they're probably going to be on the verge of a third. So we shall see. Yes, absolutely, Fishing Angel. All the credit and kudos goes to you. All right, I'm going to start off with something a little different today. And I understand it's in light of what had taken place last night, but it's going to be fun. And who knows if there are any Knicks fans that are out there. I know, J-Rod, you're going to roll your eyes right now. But listen, let's have some fun with this because the Knicks beat the Spurs last night. And kudos to the Knicks because they were down the game, double digits. OG Anunoby had a big game, big threes. Jalen Brunson, statistically, not great, but was your MVP, 25 points. Mitchell Robinson with 15 rebounds, 10 on the offensive board. And they put the clamp on the Spurs and Victor Wembanyama, who did not have a game similar to what he did against OKC, although he did have 18 points. But the Knicks fans in my life that I've seen, they're kind of geeked up over this. And listen, I am not going to relate. I can't comprehend. I mentioned this on the podcast, or maybe it was on my short yesterday on YouTube, or I think maybe it was the podcast, where let's say if this was the Celtics that won the NBA Cup, am I really going to get that pumped up? And I know it's easy for me to say because the Celtics won a title, what? If I do the math correctly, what's today's date? Wow. Exactly 18 months ago today was when the Boston Celtics won their last NBA championship. And last, I'm making it sound like it was 100 years ago. But 18 months ago, it was June 17th, 2024, when they beat the Dallas Mavericks, Game 5 in their building to win a title. And if that was the Knicks today or last night, if they would have won that NBA Cup, would I have woken up with the same fervor, with the same passion, with the same energy that I would have had when they won the whole thing literally a year and a half ago? Absolutely not. Are you nuts? Are you crazy? Because there's no way. And I get it that we're living in a world in 2025 where sports is evolving with the new rules in all the sports, with the analytics, which I can't stand, and with an in-season tournament like this where, okay, for some, especially here in the tri-state area, I guess I got to go outside and walk around and see a lot of people wearing Knick garb, because if I'm going to see that, I'm probably going to throw up right there on the spot. And listen, not to say that you can't be happy or can't be proud, but I mean, to look at this as, I get it, Jalen Brunson called it a stepping stone. I get it that he's looking at this scenario as an experience to build on, especially the head coach, Mike Brown, where, hey, we've had a little pressure here in December to where we played in the quarterfinal and they beat the Raptors and they beat the Magic in the semifinal. And here they were trailing in an NBA Cup final to where they came back and won, had a big fourth quarter, outscored the Spurs 35-19, en route to the third ever NBA Cup championship. First one, of course, by the Knicks. All right, you could say all that, and it does make sense. It is plausible. But you mean to tell me that, let's just say for argument's sake, in a conference semifinal, they're down 3-2, and let's just say, as of right this very moment, they would play the Toronto Raptors, who I understand they just beat, what was it, last week? But all of a sudden, I'm going to look at this experience that they had here, and let's say they're down 3-2, and they got to go back to Toronto, where they could lose a series, and they're going to Harp, which would, let's say, that would be what, in the middle of May at this point. You mean to tell me that Mike Brown, 5 months from now, is going to bring up what happened here over the last week on, oh, well, based on that experience with the Cup, we know what pressure's like? No. Because if they go down 3-2 to Toronto on the verge of losing that series, that Knicks team will be vilified and the media will just pound on them. It would be a scenario where the Knicks fan will be so disgruntled and so distraught and so dismayed that if they come out of that series with a loss and not get to a conference final, the city is going to be probably burnt to a crisp. Now, I'm stretching when I say that, but in all seriousness, because they went to a conference final last year and they lost in 6 games where they were two games away from an NBA final, and let's say they're down 3-2 where they're going to look back on this experience as, oh, well, we know what pressure's like. I mean, nobody would have killed the Knicks if they would have lost last night. Or let's say if the tables were turned where they were up by double digits and then the Spurs came back and beat them in a cup final. I don't think the Knicks fan is going to be crying in their cafe, their chai lattes this morning or over their Honey Nut Cheerios. That's not going to happen. I mean, seriously, if you're a Knicks fan and you put any stock into winning or losing that, all right, you're going to feel good when you win. I get that. But to the extent where you're going to say, we're the NBA Cup champs. Oh, we're going to build on this, whatever. But now let's go get the real thing. Because again, if you don't come anywhere close to winning the real thing, and even if you get to a game 7 in an NBA final and lose, that's going to sting a hell of a lot more. And are you really going to think back to this NBA Cup? Well, at least we won the NBA Cup. Nonsense. I do not want to hear it. To me, it is just the NBA trying to generate buzz and interest in the early part of their season, in the middle of an NFL season where everybody's wrapped up in that, and the college football. And I don't know many people, other than maybe Brent, my guy from north of the border in Ontario. And I know he'd try to get at me, which is fine. I love it. That's the whole point about it, where I know in one breath I may say, oh, the NBA Cup doesn't mean anything. But in the next breath, I'm talking about Victor Wembanyama, how he's possibly could be the face of the league. Well, to me, those are two different things. But yes, I'm going to look at this NBA Cup until maybe, who knows, 10, 15 years from now, God willing, still alive, where maybe I could look at it and have just a little bit of relevancy. And it's only relevant because I have to talk about it. I'm just not going to be like, all right, what happened in the NBA? All right, NBA Cup. All right, on to the next thing. I could do that, but that's not doing my job. That is being a traditionalist to the point where I'm just going to stiff arm it and poo-poo it to where, who cares? Yeah, there's a part of me that's going to say who cares. I have an opinion on it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I shouldn't talk about it or leave it to the side to where it's like, And just because it's happening to a team that literally is right in my backyard, I guess makes it even more of a topic of discussion because I do have Knicks fans in my life. And based on what I've seen on social media, they'll post it in their Instagram story, the little, I guess, I don't know what it is, just the NBA Cup champs. And you see all the players there. It's not cartoonish. It's just photoshopped. But I don't know. I mean, obviously I can't relate. My team hasn't been in a cup final. And if they won, how would I feel this morning? I'm sorry. I'd be like, all right, they won the cup. Terrific. Get me the real thing. Because to me, that's all that matters. That's all I've grown up with. And even if you're a new sports fan or a sports fan that's in your early 20s, to the Gen Zers out there, Jay Reels, come on, lighten up. Give him some credit, blah, blah. I'm not knocking the Knicks. I mean, they won this in-season tournament. The NBA set this up. The Knicks didn't set this up. But now you know what's going to come after this. And I believe they have a home game Friday where I believe they're playing are they playing the Heat? Or is it the Sixers? No, they're in Brooklyn, I believe. The Knicks, I believe, are playing the Sixers on Friday. And I know that the building may be abuzz to where they're actually going to raise. And yes, they are. And it's on Prime Video. So I guess here it is. You had the NBA Cup Championship on Prime, and now they're going to have this game on Prime Friday where they're going to raise a banner. The crowd's going to be geeked up. They're going to say, yeah, we want the real one or whatever, blah, blah. But remember, it is December. You still got the rest of this month, January, February, March, half of April, before you even get into the playoffs. And the first round, the Knicks, please, they're going to win that round. Conference semis, anything can happen. Get to a conference final, that's when it's really going to be on and popping. And until you get to that conference final, which is going to be the middle of May, toward the end of the month, we still have literally 5 months to sit on this. And that's including the Knicks winning a round and even winning the first 2 rounds for that matter. So I get it that you're excited, pumped up. Oh, we got the regular season or in-season tournament championship. Now let's go get the big one. You might as well just like take a nap, or you might as well act like Rip Van Winkle, sleep, and then wake up. And hopefully that your team is intact, no major injuries, etc. Because I can't see, and I know Spike Lee was out there. God bless Spike Lee. I mean, he is the Knick fan personified. So I was a little surprised that he was there, but all right. Again, God bless him. I mean, think about this. That's like me saying that if they had the World Baseball Classic, no, I won't even take it from that regard. Let's say baseball had an in-season tournament and the Mets were, for whatever reason, they won the in-season tournament, this round robin of sort, and let's say they even beat the Dodgers to do so. Am I going to be so wrapped up and so involved in that to the point where I'm like, hey, we're the MLB in-season cup tournament champs and we beat the Dodgers and the Yankees along the way? I mean, what am I going to say to that? I'd rather beat the Dodgers and the Yankees en route to a World Series, not some in-season tournament. So that's all I'm going to say. And I get it that these fans are a little amped up or maybe over the moon. I don't know. I haven't spoken to any of them. I've just seen like the social media stuff. So I don't know. Call me crazy. Call me old-fashioned. Call me the old man, get off my lawn. I get it. And you could do that. But until this really gains traction down the road where I'm like, wow, you know what? I've warmed up to the NBA Cup final. As it is, when they started the play-in tournament with the playoff, I've actually, and that's only happened what? Going back to, I guess, after 2020. So 2021, I think was the first year they've done that. So that's been 5 years. In the last 2 years, I've warmed up to it. So after year 3, I was like, all right. No problem. I get it. But we all know that the in-season tournament, the play-in tournament for the NBA, I understand that the Heat in 2023 was in the play-in tournament and it went all the way to an NBA final. And I know the Lakers did it that same year where they went to the Western Conference final before they got smoked by Denver. So it's not as if a team are automatically going to be sacrificial lambs to the 1 seed or 2 seed. Now, mind you, that 1 year that Miami did go to the final, Giannis got hurt and they played the Bucks. Giannis got hurt halfway through game 1, did not play in games 2 or 3. And they played a game 4 where he came back and they were down 2-1 at that point. And the Bucks had a 12-point lead in the fourth quarter. I think it was 102-89, if I'm not mistaken. And the Bucks spit the bit. Not only did they blow that game, but then they also blew the game 5 at home with the inbounds pass. Jimmy Butler, I don't know if you saw that in overtime. And I know Butler had an unconscious game. I think he scored 56 points in that game 4. So, yeah, that's the one exception. So people could say, oh, well, teams that have been in the play-in tournament have gone to an NBA final. Yes, they have. But if Giannis was healthy that whole series, really, do the Heat have a shot? I mean, come on. Can we be real? And when the Lakers won that year, they beat Memphis, I believe, in that first round. And Memphis, we all knew, were the paper tiger. So that's how I'm going to look at this thing. I get it that the Knick fan, listen, be happy. Oh, look at this. This just in. And you know what? Let me see if I can put this up. Just so you can see that I'm not crazy. Hold on a second. Let me plug this in. And I know I should have this always plugged in at all times just for these purposes. And that's another thing, too. Speaking of which, every so often I've come up with this and I've had this connected, but all right, let's see if I get this on this screen here. Pa-pow. Beautiful. Now, because I want to make this obviously more interactive and have it where, can I drag this here? Hold on. I want to make it more interactive and I want it to be a thing where, there we go, where you guys and gals could see, oh, wow, look at Jay Reels adding another wrinkle or another just function to the live stream. I'm just expanding this so you can bear with me for 1 second. You know what? I'll give them kudos, props. This is what I want to see. All right, now let me share my screen here momentarily. All right. And I see some comments there. I'll get to them, I promise. All right, so as I share my screen, Here you go, people. You got to love this. Yeah, I know about the tips. I get it. What is this? Google Chrome's requesting to bypass the system access. Yeah, I guess you got to access it, right? Here we go. Get ready, people. Look at this. See this? You got to love this. Knicks decide against hanging NBA Cup banner MSG. I like that for two reasons. One, for everything I've just talked about, to have that banner up there, I mean, come on. Seriously? That's number one. But number two, I want to know if this was the players, the coach, the organization on a whole. Well, let's find out. Maybe they have it here. I don't know if you could read this well. I'm sure it's like in real small print. Let me see if I can get myself out of here. Hold on 1 second. I could do that. Bow. Ready? Picture-in-picture layout. Yeah, about that. You're probably still not able to see that. I need to expand the screen. Yeah, it says the Knicks have decided against hanging a banner. I'll just read it if you can't see this. For winning the NBA Cup, sources tell Shams, although Knicks head coach Mike Brown intimated a banner would go up, a decision was made against it shortly after the Knicks defeated the Spurs Tuesday night. Last two winners, the Bucks and the Lakers, have banners in their respective arenas, which even goes to show you. I understand the Lakers were the first team to do it, but Jerry West, who I believe was alive when that happened, because I believe he passed after. But come on, Kobe spinning in his grave. Kobe will look at that banner and just like, seriously, why are we putting this up? The Knicks haven't hung a team banner since winning the Eastern Conference in '99, which I can understand. You win the Eastern Conference, a banner should go up. And this is Mike Brown, the coach. A lot of positives about it, but the most positive is being able to hang a banner up in MSG, the most iconic arena in the league. Wait. Oh, this was said in the aftermath. Well, wait, that doesn't make sense. Let me read that again. There's a lot of positives about it, but the most positive is being able to hang a banner up in MSG. Oh, probably in the aftermath of them winning last night. Well, I guess that had a change of heart because most of the players seem largely indifferent about it. Karl Anthony Towns said the Knicks would celebrate that one night before going back to business as usual, as they'll play Indianapolis or Indiana tomorrow. Jalen Brunson was named MVP, echoes Towns' sentiments. As the Knicks have designs on playing in the NBA Finals for the first time in '99, I don't think we're having a parade. We're going to enjoy this, but once we leave tomorrow, moving on. That's what I want to see. That's what it's all about. And please, a parade for this? No. Nah. Cannot. Should not. So that's what I have there. Oh, let me hang on. Make sure I got the right profile. There we go. So kudos. I like that. Because they shouldn't even. Why? And they said they're not going to hang one. I don't want to hear this at the end of the season, or let's say prior to next year. You walk into that building and all of a sudden you see this NBA Cup banner up there. They shouldn't have it. I think Kismet feels the same way. Right, Kiz? Yeah, because you got Amazon people outside the door, so right away they think they're going to barge in. But she's the type of dog where if they barged in, she's going to kill them with kindness. She isn't going to growl or attack. Although maybe she would. Who knows? She may surprise me. But anyway, so that's why I got with the Knicks. I don't want to spend any more time talking about that, but I'm sure there's some comments about it. Let's see what we got. All right, here we go. Can't lie, I didn't watch a second of it. Watch people get arrested on YouTube. Oh, geez. Hey, listen, maybe that was better, Jay. I hear that. Oh, I got a Twitch comment. Cheap viewers, streamboo.com. Look at this. What is this? Melodramatic scrape. And, of course, those are the bots, I guess, that are on there. Yes, Kenley Jansen to the Tigers to go along with Kyle Finnegan. Listen, he's a veteran arm. Obviously, he's not what he once was, but who knows? It's a guy that certainly at least knows how to close out games. Obviously, he doesn't have that same fastball. I know he throws mostly a cutter, but I don't know if you like that, Jay, or not. Red Wings own 6 out of 8 so far. I know they beat the Islanders last night as they were in the Motor City. And the Red Wings, where the Red Wings are right now, I should know this. I know they're still near the top. NHL, hold on a second. Standings. In fact, they are on top. With that win last night, they are in first place over the Bruins, and they actually have been. I know they were flip-flopping with Tampa. So look at that. You got 4 teams divided by 3 points. Red Wings, Bruins, Lightnings, Canadians. And the Canadians lost to Philly yesterday. So, here we go. Hey, J-Rod, you're 100% right. If the Pistons were in that cup final last night and won it, I still wouldn't care. No, exactly. Jay, you and I included. And Bio, I'm sure, has a thing or two to say about this. Greetings to you, Bio. Give me the banner next time. I'll take a poop and I'll use it. There you go. It's definitely be big enough. That's for sure. Let's see. Yeah, Fishing Angel laughing at that. Toppers, welcome. I appreciate you hopping on board. I think New England has a bounce back from a game that they should have won. Yeah, you guys were up 21-0 in the game. And I hate to shout them out, but I got to do so. Dave Portney, what are you doing when they were up 21-0, where you went on Twitter or whatever? I think I saw it on Twitter where he's like, yeah, we're back. Can't mess with the Patriots, blah, blah, blah. We haven't gone anywhere. Up 21-0, so on and so forth, yada, 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 all this nonsense. And then you talk about the biggest slice of humble pie that he got at the end. It's like, I know I spoke too soon. Come on, man. How long have you been a sports fan? I'm sure you've been a sports fan for a long time. But that was that Patriot hubris. That was that Patriot arrogance, thinking that you were watching Teddy Bruschi, Richard Seymour, Ty Law on defense. And you had Tom Brady as your quarterback, where Drake May in the second half was awful. So let's call it as we see it. When you have a sports fan like that, that's where you can't take him seriously. And listen, I can get it. You're excited. Wow, I can't believe we're up 21-0 against Buffalo. I mean, really pinch me, blah, blah. All right. You want to come out like that, fine. But when you're going to literally just, let me see if I can find this. You know what? Now I'm in a sharing mood. Hold on a second. Now I'm in a sharing mood, and who knows? Listen, I got nothing against the guy. The guy, obviously, we all know he's built. Barstool, whether you like Barstool or not. Patriot. But, yeah, when I saw this at first, I'm like, yo, like, seriously? This guy's – now, who knows? Maybe he is this it right here? I want to make sure. Yeah, this is it. Hold on. Hold on. All right, stand by, guys. I want to make sure the volume's up loud. Let's share this. Let's have some fun. Add to stage. Let me maximize it. Hold on. So this for you, Toppers. I don't know how you feel about this, but let me see. Hopefully you can hear this. So stand by. Let's rewind.
We are destroying this team. We are destroying this team. Underdog. We were underdogs going into this game. I don't want to get too cocky. I don't want to get too loud.
No.
But nobody knows championship football more than this guy, more than these fans. I've seen
Please.
I have 6 rings, and you're telling me Buffalo's better than us. This is our division. This is our league, and we're back. We're not beating this team. We're demolishing this team. And seriously, Buffalo, I feel bad. I feel bad for the people of Buffalo. You've waited. You've been on the doorstep. Josh Allen, great guy. It's over. You little whatever that was, it's over. The champs are here. We are.
See, I can't stand this. I can't stand fans like that. You already said it's over, blah, blah, blah. And then the worst part about that was this guy knows about rings of championship. Bill Belichick is not on that sideline. Tom Brady is not on that sideline. I understand that's no diss to Mike Vrabel. Let's before I get to his next video, hold on a second. Let me just do this. Oh, I gotta remove. That would help. Yeah, you don't have Hall of Fame coaches and quarterbacks on your sideline. So when he comes out and says that, you just want to throw up. Now, listen, I know I am a kook. And I know everybody else in here, the bios, Fishing Angel, Jay, J-Rod. Oh, wait. Did I just read what I just saw there? Oh, my God. Oh, my. I don't even know if I want to believe that. I do believe it. And I'll get to that comment. Oh, my goodness gracious. J-Rod just posted something that I'm sure everybody saw in the room, but I'm going to post up here on the bottom in a second. And Toppers, I appreciate that. All right. Let me breathe in because there's going to be a rant coming in about 5 minutes. And of course, I got to just finish this. And I also want to talk about his follow-up. But anyway, for him to come out and say that, and I get it. He's excited. It's 21-0. I can't believe what's happening. If he would have came out in that tact and said, wow, we beat Buffalo this year in Buffalo. Look what we're doing so far. Yada, yada, yada. End the story. That's it. Oh, what do I know about? I got 6 rings. That is like the biggest bandwagon thing to say. Because just like I said earlier, 18 months ago to today, and he's from Boston. He's a Celtic fan too. I know he's sitting courtside. That's like me coming out and saying, oh, I got 18 rings. That's like the Yankee fan saying, oh, I got 27 rings, bro. Nobody cares about that. No one. Now, if you went, and go back and look at any of my social media, when the Celtics won and podcast, I was ecstatic. I was. But was like a goon? That's what he's acting like a goon. And the team hasn't won anything yet. That's what I can't stand. Have a little dignity. Have a little class. If you want to say, yo, 21-0, like what is happening here? We beat them early this year in Buffalo, and now, wow, I can't believe it. But, what's this about the Bills? All right, Josh Allen, I know you're great, but it's our division. Relax. So now let me get to his other post, because I'm sure it's up there too, before I get to be the bearer of bad news. And if what's-it-called is there, which I'm sure he is. Tatsuya, I hope you're around, Tatsuya, because, I'm just looking for this other video. Oh, and I hate people who say I don't have 6 Super Bowl rings. Newsflash, I do. Listen, I don't want to make this about David Portnoy, but I just want to get, hold on. I want to get his follow-up because he just looks like a fool. Yeah, and then he's going to write back, this is the problem with gotcha culture right here. This first vid had 7 million views, blah, blah, culture. It's not a matter of that. It's just like you look like a fool. I don't care about if you got 8 billion. I don't care if you got 8 billion views. You look like a goon. Straight up. You do. Where's that other video? You may take it. No, I don't think he took it down. I may have scrolled past this. And I know I'm making it about Portnoy. But the problem is that, he writes, let me see. Is this the thing right here? Oh, no, he just has a screenshot of it. Where's the video? Yeah, it says Patriots blow 21-0 leads. He goes, guess I'm the asshole. To be blunt, that's his words. But I just can't stand that. Because a guy who has been a fan forever or for 5 minutes to like puff your chest out over a regular season game because of what happened, I mean, come on. We got to do better than that. We just got to. And you can be like, oh, you can't tell me I'm a fan, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I got 6 rings. Well, guess what? I'm a Celtic fan. David Portnoy. And you can talk about, oh, I'm not from Boston. I don't care. I was there. Put it this way. You want me to throw some names at you just to show you, to go to show real quick? Now all of a sudden, I guess like I've stooped down to his level. But real quick, people, just bear with me. That 96-97 Celtic team, that was, by the way, 15-67. I went to 3 games that year, and 2 of them actually won out of those 3 games. Up in Boston, when Portland came to town, and they were actually down by 21 points, 68-47, third quarter, and they came back and won the game. And then I went to Philadelphia at the end of that year. It was a Friday, the last Friday of the season, and they won that game. And the guys that they had on their team, that was Antoine Walker's rookie year. They had guys named Andrew Leclerc. They had guys, Michael Hawkins. They had Nate Driggers. I mean, these are guys that you forget about picking out of the lineup. You'd be like, those guys played in the NBA? Yes. So I don't want to hear that, oh, yeah, you're a Celtic fan, Jay Reels, bandwagon. Oh, you're from New York. How you be a Celtic fan? And then to make matters worse, in 2006-07, that was the year before they traded for Kevin Garnett. And also Ray Allen they got. They had an 18-game losing streak. And one of the games, which actually went down in Miami, when they played in Miami Arena, that was in April 16th of 2007, I believe. And that year they lost 18 in a row, the longest losing streak in Celtic history. So I don't want to hear, oh, I'm not a Celtic fan. Oh, yeah, you're probably bandwagon, blah, blah, blah. Nonsense. I don't want to hear that nonsense. No. So he could come at me all he wants. And obviously he won't. Yeah, here it is. Trending. Now I got to get to the bad news. I mean, seriously? Here we go. I'm going to share this too. I mean, let me just take one deep breath, if I may, people. And I'll get your comments. Big D, what's happening? Big D, I hope you're still here. 1240. Oh, yeah, you just got on. And Toppers, I'll get you your comment in a second. All the comments, trust me, I'll get to. What's going on? A lot is going on. And especially as I'm going to read this news here, I'm going to throw up all over myself. As they say in the BX and the Bronx, dead ass. I got to share this with you, and I got to thank to J-Rod. I see that with Charles Woodson. I'll get to that. I got to put this up here because this is a joke. You see this? I mean, you can't make it up. In fact, I'm going to show this now, and I'm going to say my comments in a second. I mean, what do I say? Tatsuya, I hope you're there because this is... What is David Stearns doing? Why does he have such an affinity for ex-Yankees? What is happening? 2-year deal, Luke Weaver. We know about Devin Williams. Obviously, Juan Soto. Obviously, Frankie Montas. Clay Holmes. Just go get Cody Bellinger. Or whomever else is out there on the Yankee free agent list that needs to be signed. It'd just be a Met. This is an atrocity. Did you see Luke Weaver last year? Well, he must have been looking at Luke Weaver 2024 during that stretch prior to the start of the playoffs where Luke Weaver was lights out. I mean, the guy was looking like Mariano. And he had his moments in the postseason where he was good, but then I know in the World Series Game 6, I know he gave up, I believe he gave up that, or maybe he was responsible for those 2 runs that he gave up when the Yankees came back. When the Dodgers came back in Game 5, they tied the game, and they scored the 2 runs after that. I think Luke Weaver was responsible for that. But why? Why? How long have you guys been watching me? And I'm not trying to make this guy out to be Raleigh Fingers, but I said, Pete Fairbanks, hard thrower, has pitched in playoff games, Rays, and pitched in the AL East. Why not him? What, was he asking for the sun, moon, and stars? I don't know what it is about. Why? Why? And Luke Weaver's numbers last year were not good. I'm going to pull him up right now. He's making it sound like Luke Weaver is the end-all, be-all. And what is David Stearns doing? Here, last year, his record was 4-4, which I get it. He could give up 1 hit to start off an inning with the game tied, and then whoever's going to come in after him that gives up that run, he's going to be the person on the losing side. But here it is. 4-4 with a 2.62. No, I take that back. 4-4 with a 3.62 ERA. I mean, the year before, listen. He was 7-3 with a 2.89, 103 strikeouts and 84 innings. I mean, the guy was an 0.9 whip. I mean, his whip is still good, 102, but I don't get it. How many home runs he gave up? 10 home runs in 64 innings. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I don't know what, again, and then the Yankee fans are just going to get, and that's the thing. David Stearns is from New York, lived in Queens. I believe he lived in Corona. Literally a train stop away from Yankee Stadium. You hear me? I'm losing my mind. A train stop away from Citi Field. What is he doing? Does he not know the fan base? Does he not take the temperature of the people that go through those turnstiles? I mean, guys like Keith McPherson, who I love, and I know he trolls the Met fan. I love Keith, and I'm hoping to get him back. I actually reached out to him today. Big D, I hear you. You're fighting the cold. I hope you get through it. I know you'll get through it. But how is it that what is he doing? Is he not encountering Met fans saying, hey, do you need to sign another Yankee? I don't know. Let me go back to some of these comments. He's just ruining my day with this. Here it is, J-Rod. I know he put this out here. And J-Rob was probably thinking, hey, they signed Luke Weaver, and he was the bearer of bad news. And, of course, he didn't do that on purpose, Jay. I'm just having some fun. But, oh, my goodness. As a Michigan man, Dave just pisses me off. Can't stand him. Only thing he brings to the table is his money for NIL. Hey, there you go. Did he go to Michigan? I didn't even know that. And even Toppers, yeah, I don't get that. I don't get like that at all. Good for you, Toppers. How long have you been a Patriot fan? I'm curious. I agree. And listen, nobody says that you can't be a fan, you can't be rabid, you can't be. I get that. I mean, that's fine. But then he wants to turn it around and say, oh, you know, with the whole, what did he call that? Yeah, I already left his page. It's not cancel culture. What the hell is the word he used? I want to use his exact words. Oh, yeah, he did post something about Michigan here as I go back to his page. What's the damn word? I'm scrolling. I'm looking for it, guys. Oh, gotcha culture. It's not a matter of gotcha. It's not gotcha about, to me, it's a gotcha. It's like you look like a fool. Act like you've been there before. Obviously, those are, I got 6 rings. And then he wants to follow that up by saying that, David Portnoy, how many Lombardis you got? Well, guess what? I'm a Steeler fan, so you match us in Lombardis. And I don't even hate to even go there with that, but that, to me, that is the most bandwagon thing anybody could say. And for someone, I mean, please. That is when I ever hear a fan come out and say that, I'm like, get back on your radio flyer bandwagon and hope it has airbags so when it crashes. Because to me, that is just, sorry. Listen. I ain't even going to go there. I'll just leave it right there. I'll leave it right there. I'm spitting on the screen. This is what happens, man, when passion takes over me, you know? Anyway, all right, so now let me get back to the comments. I know I'm all over the map, people. I appreciate you hanging with me here. The ex-coach of Michigan needs more punishment than what he's going now. His family has to deal with. Oh, yeah, I mean, and then I hate to say this. I am not the morality police by any stretch, and Lord knows I've done some bad things to my ex-wife. But for him to blame this, as reported, for Sharon Moore to blame this on her, that he had to barge into her house for the home invasion that he got charged on, and then says, I'm going to kill myself because you did this. What? Right there, he shows zero integrity as a man. Not only the fact of what he, stepping out on his wife and 3 kids and all that. I mean, how are you going to explain that to them? But that's not for me to deal with. And I understand that's none of my business, but of course it's put out there for public knowledge. So true or not, allegedly, whatever. But yeah, that is as bad as it gets. Charles Woodson being thrown out there. I wonder if he would take that, though. I wonder if Charles Woodson would really consider being the head coach. Because the thing about that is, it sounds great. And if he's willing to do it, God bless him. But what happens if 3-4 years from now, they're 8-4 and he hasn't beaten Ohio State? Are they going to fire him? I mean, the guy's a Wolverine legend. The guy won a Heisman Trophy and a national championship. That's like, and here's a great example, especially for Jay and for Fishing Angel. Patrick Ewing. When he went back to Georgetown, I love Georgetown. That's my favorite college basketball team. When he went back to Georgetown, and mind you, he did have his one day in the sun when he won a Big East championship in 2021, although he got smoked by Colorado in the first round. And listen, if it wasn't for them winning the Big East tournament, they wouldn't have even been in the tournament in the March Madness. But how did that end? Not great. And Patrick Ewing is Georgetown. When you think about, forget about Mount Rushmore of Georgetown players, he is Mount Rushmore. He's all 4. Now, of course, I kid, but in all seriousness, when you think of Georgetown, who's the best player that came out of Georgetown? They're hands down. There's nobody but Patrick Ewing. And what did that get him? I'm sure he's still in good graces with the university, and he could go back whenever, and I'm sure he'll still get a standing ovation, et cetera. But when you think of Patrick Ewing, the coach, not good. I thought he used it when Diaz signed with my Dodgers. Met fans at those. Wait, if the Big D, if this is who I think it is, oh, I know who this is. Big D, how do you feel about our Steelers? And I was in a text thread with the guys from the bar, by the way. You remember George, Walt, Moss. Yeah, we were in a text thread before the game on Monday night. So, Tatsu, I see your comment coming at you. And Big D, I hope you feel better. Now that I know, listen, even if I didn't know who you are, you're here, and I appreciate that. But now that I think I know who I'm talking to, super speedy recovery. As a Michigan super fan, I would be so down with Woodson at his. Yeah, no, absolutely. Why not? Makes sense. 100%. Small market Stearns trying to build New York Brewers. No, how about the Yank? He's trying to rebuild the Yankees. I mean, I don't know. Oh. Tatsuya, you can't feel good about this, can you? I mean, seriously? And listen, I don't know if you hate the Yankees with every fiber of your being the way I do with mine, because I don't think there's anybody on this planet that hates the Yankees more than I do. I haven't met that person yet. I have not. And I'll go to the ends of the earth to say how much I just would never, ever, ever root for them. And just knowing that it's just player after player. And that's why I say, go get Cody Bellinger. Let me see who are the Yankee free agents right now. I mean, Yankee free agents. Well, it was flirting with Paul Goldschmidt. I mean, seriously? Oh, Michael King? I understand he went to San Diego first, but he's still an ex-Yankee. So that's another one. No, we don't want next year's free agents. We want now. And listen, and the Yankees, they haven't done anything, which scares me a little bit because they've been so quiet, so silent. You haven't heard anything. That watch them come out with the blockbuster deal. Watch, I just know it. Whomever that may, I don't know who it is, whatever. And it's going to just, oh my God. Let me see who else. Yeah, I don't want to look at this. This is going to frustrate me and aggravate me even more. Yeah, look at that. He is a Michigan graduate. Yeah, the NIL money. So I hear you there, Jay. Absolutely. Topper since the Drew days. Oh, is that right? Okay. So you're talking Drew, obviously from 93 when he got drafted. We all know Washington State. Good for you, man. That was when they played in the old Sullivan Stadium. Or was it Schaefer Stadium? No, it was Sullivan Stadium. Schaefer Stadium. When they had the, whatchamacallit? The metal bleachers. Drew Bledsoe. No, I remember, 5-11 that year, and then Parcells came the next year, 100%. Here it is. I knew it. Diehard Steelers fans is me, Joe Green. Of course, Big D. I'll call you Big D. I was almost said your name. I appreciate you hopping on board. But yes, you and I go way back. Me and Joe Green actually playing Drake May in fantasy. Oh, yeah. I want the Patriots to beat the Raiders. Oh, they got to beat them, I hope. Yeah, that's yeah, watch the Ravens have a big game. I could see it. And the thing is that with the game at 425, and Jay, it is for you. I still don't know as of yet, like what's happening with Sunday. I'm trying to find out to be able to stream the game live and do a live stream that way. I will say this, Steelers in the playoffs, there will be a live stream. That goes without saying. But the game on Sunday, I have to wait and see. Because hopefully it's a thing where we wake up, have breakfast, and then hit the road. I don't know yet. We may go out, make a stop. Hopefully I'll get here by 4:25. But I'll keep you posted for sure. Because, yeah, I would like to do that live stream, and we'll go back and forth. And the real sad thing is they're already making videos saying that after Moore is done with the legal side of this, as long as he could bring wins to the program, they're okay. Really? No, they can't do that. They're really? They've actually said that? Wow. I mean, how could you have the face of your organization, the face of your football team after what just transpired? And he's been arrested. And even if he's goes off or gets off, I should say, scot-free, which chances are is probably not going to happen. How is that? Wow, I can't believe that. I'm shocked. Cody Bellinger will complete the Horcruxes of the Harry Potter series to former Yankees to come to the Mets. I'm not a Harry Potter guy, so I don't know the reference. I love it, though. I love that you bring that up, Tatsuya. So, but yeah, I know what. I'd be surprised if Cody Bellinger becomes a Yankee. Absolutely not. At this point, I wouldn't. Oh, here we go. Yes, Jay, I'll find a video later, send it to you. All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, that's a disgrace if they're going to do that. You know me, win, lose, or tie, Steeler fans. So absolutely. Tomlin takes too much heat for making the most of what he has. Metcalf is frustrating. Yeah, well, here's the thing on both of those fronts. You see, and Tomlin, you see, that's the thing. So many people get it twisted with Tomlin, and I understand that he's been there 19 years. And, oh, wait, did I get that right? Yeah, because 06 next year. Yeah, he's been there. Yeah, next year will be his 20th year. I understand 19 years, and maybe it's time for a change. The guys in the locker room have not said that. Everybody in the locker room still gravitates to Tomlin. And, yeah, he's got to work with what he has. It's unfortunate because, as I've said all along, and people, and they brought up names too, which I love, and I'm grateful for those who, a couple of weeks ago, they hop on board. Toppers, and you're a Yankee fan too? Let me put this up, and I'll go back to that. Toppers, how do you feel? I'm sure you're probably laughing at the Met fan today with Luke Weaver signing with the Mets. Unbelievable. But yeah, when I say, all right, well, who do you want to replace Tomlin? Because you have to have a replacement. Oh, anybody. No, I don't want to hear anybody. People have said Brian Flores. I didn't know if the Steelers were going to go to that well. People came out and said the defensive coordinator of the Chargers, the guy's name eludes me right now, who coached with his dad. What the hell is his name? Jesse. Hold on a second. I'm drawing blanks right now. Jesse, Chargers, defensive. Why did that change? Hold on. Minter. Thank you. Jesse Minter. All right, I could see that, but at the same time, with his connections with Tomlin, I mean, come on, you're going to bring in a guy that literally is like a friend of the family or maybe even kind of like family, and you're going to have him replace. And I understand he's young, and the Steelers are going to want a young defensive coach. Think of Tomlin. Think of Tomlin, of course. Think of Bill Cowher, Chuck Noll. They were all defensive coordinators. But I don't think they're going to go that route. I mean, the safe bet would be people have mentioned Mike McCarthy's a Pittsburgh guy, whatever, but they're not going to go that route. I mean, would I be shocked if they went that route? Maybe not. I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be shocked, but I don't think the Steelers would do that. So, although they've come up with replacements, but to me, I look at it like, I don't think any of those guys would even fit the bill. So, I don't understand how these Steeler fans, and I get it, they could be up in arms, and I understand 9-8, 10-7 isn't cutting it anymore. And who knows? The only way they're going to get in is winning the division because they're not going to win by wild card. So you got who you got. And I can't kill Omar Khan. I've been on here and I've said this many times. They've tried. I understand it was certainly not Steeler-like because you know, Big D, Steelers have never been freewheeling trades, free agents to the point where it's like, oh, yeah, let's trade for Metcalf and give him $30 million a year. Oh, yeah, we're going to now trade for Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith. Oh, yeah, now we're going to – well, Aaron Rodgers kind of fell in their lap, and I understand he's 42 years of age. But, yeah, Steelers never done that. But they tried because they know that they had to do something. They weren't just going to rest on their laurels. It's not as if they're going to have – Ben Roethlisberger's not walking through that door or the second coming of him. So they had to do something. So, therefore, yeah, I mean, please. Oh, look at this. Millie. Happy holidays. Surprised to see you here. Happy holidays to you and yours. That's family there who's jumping on board. So, wow, I appreciate that. Thanks for hopping on board, Millie. But yeah, so that's what's going to happen with the Steeler fan, because let's say if they win the division and they'll be geeked up, but then they're going to be the first one off the ship if Tomlin, and listen, he's made some bad coaching moves, I know, in the postseason. Oh, I think about that Jacksonville one too, which sticks out the most. When they cut it to 3 and it was about 2:12 left to go in the game, they had a 2-minute warning in all 3 of his timeouts. And what did he do? He kicked an onside kick. What are you doing? Now, I understand that defense was literally Swiss cheese. So he did that because he didn't trust his defense. But come on. That's where, as a coach, it's like, you guys, you've been awful all game. They put up 45 points on us. Or it was 40, I think it was 48, 45 was the final. But can you guys get a stop? We got 3 timeouts and a 2-minute warning. So maybe we could save one of those timeouts to get the ball back and maybe march down the field to get a game-winning score or game-time score. I forgot what the score was at the time. Was it 45-42? I forgot. But that made no sense. But listen, I'm going to continue to rock with Tomlin. I have thought maybe it's time for a change as early as 2 weeks ago. But between that offensive line that hasn't really seemed like gelled as of yet, although they played better the last 2 weeks because Rodgers has been upright. I know they got after him a little bit in the first half Monday, and then the Ravens, they got to him a little bit there. No, they didn't even get to him at all. They didn't even sack him. They had some pressures on him. But as long as Rodgers has time, and yeah, he can make one slip. He can still slip, and there is a little bit in him. And I'm not saying that to be, the Rodgers of 5-6 years ago. No. But, yeah, you can't expect him to perform magic game in and game out. Shh, no bark. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Kids. Ex-host of Michigan, not only disappointed his team, players, family. Oh, without question. I mean, what he did was despicable. Life without put. Oh, fishing game's going right at him. Saying that's it. Throw the book at him and throw the key in the garbage. I hear that. Yeah, what he did was just, I mean, come on. Beyond inexcusable. You know, and now listen, I don't want to make any comparisons by any stretch, but it was a little bit, just a little tiny bit. Now, I get it that unfortunately it cost him his life. That's where there's no comparison. But I got news for you. When the details came out about Sharon Moore and all that, I thought of Steve McNair. And when that happened, I mean, that just, that was mind-blowing. And, you know, rest in peace, Steve McNair. But at the same time, you can say rest in peace, et cetera. I understand we're, 15, 16 years removed from that. But, man, it's like, my guy. Like, how could you do that? Oh, man, I can't. And listen, Lord knows, this is coming from someone who obviously in a previous marriage did things I shouldn't have done. And I'm just being transparent here. And listen, I had to rectify that. I had to look from within. I had to cleanse myself of that. And, you know, you hurt people along the way. And, it's awful. It's terrible. But, you know, that's why as long as you're alive and breathing, you're winning and you have a chance to change that and do the work. And yes, a part of my story it is, but you know what? But that doesn't define who I am. It's the work after that. And that I have to continue to do. I haven't arrived. It's not like, hey, I can put my feet up and now, you know, no. But I just throw myself in there because, yeah, we all make mistakes, but a mistake like that, what Moore did? So Fishing Angel, I'm with you. All right, toppers. Mets can't seem to get anyone else but ex-Yankees. I mean, they don't even have to move. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's funny you say that. They don't. It's just brutal. Yeah, I actually saw it pop up there. I'll definitely check it out afterwards. Big D. I feel that his time in Pittsburgh is about done, but I don't know who you get to replace him. Steel fans are tired of being one and done. No, that I agree. And the thing is that when people look at this 10-year drought with the Steelers, and I'm glad we're talking about all these different things because really, other than that NFL this week, there's a couple things I could talk about. I know the college football playoff, but that was it. I mean, I really didn't have much else thanks to, I guess to a certain extent, Dave Portnoy, Luke Weaver, and now here we are talking Steelers. But is that all with the comments? Let me see. Oh, there's a couple more after that. yeah, when you look at these last, especially the last 5 years, I mean, in 2021, Ben Roethlisberger, obviously it was his last go around, and he won that final game in Baltimore. That to me, that was a playoff game. Just beating the Ravens at any game. It could be, not that I'll ever play in the preseason, but they could beat him in the preseason and I'll jump up and down. But that win in Baltimore was, to me, that was almost like a playoff game. And they won that game, and then they got just beat down in Kansas City. And then they lost to Buffalo, Mason Rudolph. I mean, come on, seriously. The game last year at Baltimore, we weren't going to win that game. Even though I had some just hope. So I had a little bit of positive hope to think like, all right, we know this team. We're not going to beat him. But then Derrick Henry runs roughshod over our defense, and that was it. But, yeah, I mean, the teams haven't been good. The only thing I can really get on Tomlin since this drought, their last playoff win when they won in Kansas City, that 18-16 game. And, of course, they lost to New England the following year. The one thing I will say is that a Jacksonville game, that's the one that's inexcusable. The other games I can't kill him for because they weren't that good. Jacksonville, that one is a big stain on his playoff coaching career. The first game against Jacksonville in 2007, which he was awful in that game too, but it was his first game. All right, fine. We know what happened in 2008. We know what happened in 2010. And I get it. Aaron Rodgers was on fire that day. Couldn't stop him. They lose that game. The Tebow game, I mean, you could get him on that too. And Roethlisberger, to me, that game, oh, geez. When I think back to that game, remember, he had that broken foot. I think he had a broken bone in his foot, and Roethlisberger was hobbling that whole game, and he was so heroic, and Jericho Cotchery made a big catch in that game. Oh, man, they should have won that game. But, man, I mean, that was bad. That Tebow game was bad. Then they lost to the Ravens in the wild card that first round. That wasn't good either. But you know what? The Ravens, they owed us that one, considering that we had beaten them like a drum over those years, whether it was 2008 in the AFC Championship game, in 2010 when we beat them in the postseason. And remember that run to the Super Bowl in 2010, we also beat them in Baltimore. That was the game where Troy came from the blind side, stripped Flacco. They got the ball, Lamar Woodley to the 10-yard line, and then Isaac Redmond had the touchdown. Oh, man, I was going nuts I lived in a home at that time. And then that was the run, and then we beat them that was the 3rd and 17, the deep ball to Antonio Brown, and we won that game. So they owed us that one. Then in 2015, we beat the Bengals, and that was a crazy game too. Remember, that was Vontaze Perfect, Joey Porter on the field. Then we lost in Denver. In Denver, we had a chance to beat them in that game. It was 13-12, fourth quarter. I think it was early fourth quarter. And I'll never forget, Fitzgerald Toussaint. Does that name ring a bell? The running back, who actually had a pretty decent year for us, fumbled the ball at the Bronco 30. And we could have kicked the field goal there to go up 15-13 or even get a touchdown. Who knows how that game would have been. Broncos would have been tight as hell. And then what did they do? They went down the length of the field. They scored a touchdown. It was 20-12. No, as a matter of fact, that's a lie. We were up 13-12 in that game because we lost 23-16. I take that back. We were up 13-12, marching down the field. We could have kicked a field goal where they had to get a touchdown. Or if we would have scored a touchdown, that would have been 20-12 our side. But as it was, they fumbled the ball. Broncos then scored a touchdown. Got a 2-point conversion to make it 20-13. And then it was 23-13. I know we got a late field goal. Yeah. Oh, how do I remember all this stuff is beyond me. But that's what happens when you're a kook and a nut job. And then 2016, they had the run where they beat the Dolphins. And then they won in Kansas City before losing in New England. And then that Jacksonville game. Oh, God. That was the year we should have been the 1 seed, but obviously we weren't. So, all right, enough with the Steelers. Even though I'll probably go back to some, I see some more comments by Big D. I know Cheap got to spend more money. Listen, I can't kill Omar Khan. He's done well. Can you put that video up just like you did with the Dave video? Hold on a second. Can I? Let me see. Give me a second, Jared. Yeah, I got to forward it to my – hold on. Let me quit that. Yeah, I have to forward that to my email. And then I had to pull it up on my email. Oh, I wish I could stream this just from here to there, and then. All right, Jay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna see if I can try to do that. What? Now I can't even stop this thing. Hold on. Jeez. Let's go back. All right, messages. That's what we want. Let's go back. Yeah, let me see what I could do. Hold on. All right. Yeah, because I have to forward it. I thought maybe I could pull it up on my laptop, but I cannot. Because I know the text message thread. Hold on. Yeah, if you could send it to my email, because I have my email open, I could just do it that way, which would be easier. And then I'll share it. Yeah, it's just a YouTube short he sent about the Michigan coach, which I'm curious to see. Steeler fans are loyal, travel everywhere, need more bang for the buck. Yes. I was totally humiliated at work at the Buffalo. Oh, yeah, that game was just brutal. Yeah, it was rock bottom. Yeah, Tebow. I know I'm bringing up all these bad memories now. Fitz, yeah, he did. You're right. Fitz, yeah, he was at Michigan. Good one there, Jay. Hey, listen, when it comes to the Wolverines, I know who to go to for any resources. Oh, you went to that game? Yeah, he got his bell rung. I know a lot of people think that that's where his craziness has come from. Yeah, that game, I mean, listen, we had no business winning that game. A.J. McCarron was the quarterback. And, yeah, I mean, Roethlisberger, God, if the Steelers could get a guy just 50% of Roethlisberger, oh, my goodness. Yeah, we marched down the field. But here was the big thing about that. It wasn't even a personal foul. What set us up was Joey Porter going onto the field and chopping it up with Pac-Man Jones, and I think Burfict was on there. And next thing you know, they throw the flag, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, man, what happened? And they gave an unsportsmanlike conduct to Pac-Man Jones, and that even set up the field goal. Now, I think it was within Boswell's distance at that time. But, yeah, even then, that set it up. Yeah, that was a crazy game. I'll never forget. That day, I went to the movies. I went to go see The Revenant. I almost mispronounced that. The Leonardo DiCaprio movie. And then I went home and watched that. And then I'm thinking to myself, and the Steelers offense was awful that night. They were terrible. But, and if you also remember, who had the big fumble, and that's what set them up. His name's on the tip of my tongue. Running back, I think it's number 32. It wasn't Cedric Benson, may he rest in peace. Jeez, I got to go back. I know here I'm talking Steeler football, and I wasn't going to talk Steeler football. Bengal running back, 2015, number 32. Hold on. I think his name was number 32. He fumbled the ball. Jeremy Hill, thank you. Jeremy, and he was deep in Steeler territory, I might add, and he fumbled it with I think it was about right before the 2-minute warning, which was even more of a shock because literally they needed a first down and we would have won the game. That was it. And he fumbled the ball, and we got the ball back, and then they went down the field, and they were at midfield. Burfict hits Antonio Brown. I believe it was maybe around the 35, 30. But then the 15 yards tacked onto that, they had the ball like at the 17-yard line. And it was a chip shot. Oh, my God. I remember this. Crazy. I hope Jai isn't on. Didn't mean to take over the show. That's just funny. Nah, it's all good, man. It's all good. Oh, you can't find my email address? jreelspodcast@gmail.com or the jreelspodcast. Nah, that's all good, man. Here we are talking Steeler football. Yeah, if I'm boring you guys, my apologies. But I'll pivot. I'll go elsewhere. But no, I appreciate the going down memory lane, although a lot of it is bad. But it just goes to show you that's how long it's been since we won a playoff game. All right, let me see a couple other things before we still got some time. All right, so Rams Seahawks kick off NFL Week 16. That's going to be a great game tomorrow. Bio, I don't know if you're still with us because I know he's a huge Ram fan. But your schedule for the week. Oh, let me go over here. It's over. I dragged this over here with the ESPN. No. NFL. The schedule this week You got a couple of good games. Oh, here we go. Phillies. Oh, the Brad Keller. All right. Yeah, I'm looking at some of these signings. Baseball. Kudos to the Knicks again. I like what they did there with that. The schedule this week, you got games Saturday now, excuse me. You have games on Saturday, which the night game is good. Green Bay, Chicago, Philly at Washington, nobody cares. Then you have on Sunday, Sunday slate is really bad. I know the Sunday night game is good, and the Sunday afternoon, you have Jacksonville, Denver, but that's at 4:05. Pittsburgh and Detroit is the game that the whole country is going to see. That's where J-Rod and I will be back and forth. Your Monday night game is good, San Francisco, Indianapolis, but a lot of the games are just awful. I mean, here's your Sunday. You ready for this? I understand the teams that are involved, like for playoff positioning. Buffalo at Cleveland, you're going to watch for Buffalo. And I understand Philly, Washington for Philly to see if they can clinch the NFC East. Kansas City at Tennessee, good night. Cincinnati at Miami, no thanks. Jets at New Orleans, take a nap. Vikings at Giants, I'd rather go Christmas shopping. Atlanta at Arizona, oof, where's the eggnog? Now you have Tampa at Carolina. I understand that's not uber sexy when it comes to a matchup, but that is going to be for the NFC South. So that's a game that does have meaning. Vegas at Houston, only because of the Texans, and that's at 4:25 as well. Then you have New England at Baltimore, and then San Francisco and Indianapolis. So not a great schedule. Few games to chew on there, especially on Sunday, because that's what it really matters in my mind. Because Saturday night, who knows? Are you going to be going to a holiday party or traveling around? I know I'll be away. What is this? Oh, I thought I was reading something weird. So with parties and all that, I'll be in and out. But for the games on Sunday, they are brutal. And speaking of which, let me get back to the screen here. Speaking of which, the college football playoff begins Friday with Alabama at Oklahoma. Now, two of the games are going to be, three of the games on Saturday. The first one's Miami, Texas A&M, and then you have the two games, Oregon, James Madison, and you have drawing blanks here. Oh, Tulane. Thank you. Jeez, I'm over here losing my mind, not knowing. It's like, wait a minute, who the hell is playing in this college football playoff again? Because right now I am drawing blanks. But no, as far as the games in order, Alabama, Oklahoma is the first game. Then you have Miami at Texas A&M. You have Tulane, Ole Miss, and James Madison is the nightcap at Oregon. Now, those are going to interfere. The Ole Miss game and Oregon, they're going to interfere with the NFL schedule if you care. But to me, those two games, if it's not 34-3 at the half in either one of those games, then I'll be shocked. If Tulane or James Madison are in these games, I mean, if they're in the game in the second quarter, forget about even halftime. So we'll see what's going to happen there. But to me, I think the storylines here for this weekend, I forgot about the two. To me, will Ole Miss and Oregon win by 40? I guess that's the storyline for those two games. But Miami, considering that they got in, and I understand they won the head-to-head over Notre Dame, and Notre Dame, we talked about that last week, et cetera, crying, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, how Miami fares here is going to be interesting because obviously they've been a top-ranked team all year. We know A&M is stout, but can they go to College Station and forget about even being in the game, but can they actually win the game? I think they can, but their head coach, Mario Cristobal, he scares me because he's a guy that will screw up clock management, as he even admitted in the SMU game. Oh, I screwed up. Yeah, that was SMU. So imagine in a bowl game, he's really going to have to wisen up. Would I be shocked if Miami won? I can't say I'd be shocked. I'd be surprised because I think A&M will win. But how Miami does in this game is going to be interesting. And Alabama, Oklahoma, to me, this is a revenge game. Oklahoma went into Alabama and shut them down defensively. And John Mateer, he's going to have to do a lot with his legs in this game because I think Alabama will be ready for that. Now, we know Alabama doesn't have the ground game like they usually do in years past. And Ty Simpson, let's see what he does at quarterback, because to me, that's what's going to boil down to. Which quarterback is going to perform better? Now, we know Oklahoma and their defense, they're in all likelihood, will show up and make Ty Simpson beat him, but it's not as if John Mateer is going to be lights out in his game in order for them to beat Alabama twice in the last 5 weeks or so. But by far, that's the best game of the weekend. And that's why they put it there Friday in prime time alone. There's no way they're going to put it Saturday night up against the NFL, and they weren't going to put it 12 o'clock on a Saturday. So therefore, they got the primetime slot. That's going to be a very good game. I hate to say it. I know I made an argument for Alabama not being there. And I get it that the ACC was inept, because if Miami was there, they would have beaten Virginia, and it would have been a scenario where that would have been it. You wouldn't have had two. There wouldn't have been Tulane and James Madison there, because you would have had Miami. And BYU also screwed up, because if BYU would have won, they would have taken one of those two spots. I get it. But listen, it is what it is. Alabama's there. And I think they're going to win the game, because they're going to show everybody that, yeah, we may have been a 3-team loss and we play in the SEC, but yeah. And I think they're going to exact revenge over the Sooners there Friday night. So that's how I'm looking at the college football. Let me check my email to see whether or not J-Rod had sent me that. I think he did. I would not be surprised. Let's see. I got to refresh. But when it comes to the college football, I'll be on top of that. The good thing is that those two games, I'm not going to get crazy about the Tulane, Ole Miss, because, yeah, I'm not even watching the NFL games. The NFL games, I think they're on streaming, right? No, I believe it's NFL Network. No, and I believe the nightcap is on Peacock. Let me see here real quick. Schedule. No, they're on Fox. Why was I thinking Peacock? Maybe that's next week's games. Yeah, the games this week, they're both on Fox. Hold on. I thought I saw, wait a second. Yeah, next Saturday, the Saturday after this one, December 27th, where it's Houston at the Chargers, Baltimore at Green Bay, two big games. NFL Network, 4:30, Saturday the 27th, Texans at Chargers, Ravens at Packers, Peacock. So, yeah, I hope you get your streaming and you've paid for it, because, yeah, that's what you're going to have to that's how you're going to have to watch those games. So that's what I have there. Let me just check on one other thing here before I move it along. Where are we at? 1:30? All right. Obviously, we'll be mindful of the time, of course. So let's see what we got here next on the docket. So that's your college football. Baseball we kind of covered. Let me get to some comments here. Let's see. Oh, wait, it's not letting me. Says invalid email address. All right, so it's the jreelspodcast@gmail.com. Uh-oh. Got to head out. No doubt, J-Rod. No, I appreciate it. Maybe I could post that video or repost that somehow. Yeah. Yeah, sorry I couldn't get to that. Thank you, Fishing Angel. Happy birthday to you. May you enjoy. Yes, great day to you and yours as well. Oh, yes, I will. As always, thank you so much. I believe they already signed off. So I appreciate them hopping on board. But, yeah, so that's what we got there with the NFL and the college football. Obviously, we talked about the Knicks from the start. Nothing else really going on. I still can't get over this Luke Weaver thing. All right, here we go. Predictions for the top 10. Let me see. Who else? Who are the top 10 free agents? Audio here? Oh, it's coming through. Yeah, because it's through here. Yeah, Kyle Tucker, Framber Valdez, Cody Bellinger. He's going to go to the Mets. I really believe it. Yeah, and look, whomever wrote this article, who is this? Who's the writer here? Oh, David Schoenfeld. And what's this? Oh, this is ESPN. All right, here's what he says. Cody Bellinger, right? What about the Yankees? The team that might be out, the Reds, who cares? Stearns is clearly emphasizing defense, bringing in Marcus Semien. No. Here's a prediction why he's going to go to the Mets. He signed Devin Williams. He signed Cody Bellinger. Last year, he signed Juan Soto. He signed Clay Holmes and also Frankie Montas. I know Montas got traded. He was on the Brewers last year, but he's a former Yankee. That's why he's going to sign him, because they got used to wear the pinstripes. And this for you, Tatsuya. They have him listed here. Tatsuya and Mai predicting to go to the Giants. And they've spent a lot of money, too. Bo Bichette, where does he go? The Yankees? That's what he's going to predict. Well, if he goes to the Yankees, here's the thing. Goes to the Yankees. What about George Lombard? I guess he's going to move him to second. Oh, Jazz Chisholm. I think he's got one more year left. Teams that might be out on Murakami. You ready for this, Tatsuya? Can I do a show of the Mets funeral? Wait, hold on, Zip. I'm kind of talking about the Mets and their funeral right now. Luke Weaver? Val, what is happening? All right, here we go. Tatsuya, I don't know if you're still with me. Wave. If you're not, that's fine. But so here it is on ESPN.com. This is Dave Schoenfeld because they're talking about the top 10 free agents that are left and what he predicts. So 5 years, $80 million is a projected offer that he would get. Teams that might be out. The Mets. Murakami and the Mets were linked early on, but given Stearns' defensive emphasis and the signing of Polanco to play first base, which is a joke. Why are you going to put? That's the thing that bothers me. Given Stearns' defensive emphasis and signing Polanco to play first base, do you know that the next game that Jorge Polanco, whenever he's written into the lineup card, the next time he's going to be inserted as a first baseman will be the first. In fact, I have more appearances in a Major League Baseball game at first base than Jorge Polanco does. And I've never played Major League Baseball. But he wants to put the emphasis on defense. So let's bring him Polanco. Where many scouts believe Murakami is best suited to play. There doesn't seem to be a clear fit unless the Mets turn him into a full-time DH and Mark Vientos is still around for that role or can share it with Polanco. And I've said this weeks ago. If Mark Vientos is not taking ground balls right now, as I speak, then what are we doing? Same for Jorge Polanco. If he's going to be our first baseman next year, is he taking ground balls right now? And they signed him 2 years at $20 million a year. I understand it's just 2 years, but $20 million a year? They couldn't pay him like $12 million? When was Jorge Polanco a $20 million player? And here's the worst part about it, too. The guy can't stay healthy. I know he was healthy last year. For him, he was healthy. He played in 130 games. Look how many games he's played over 150, which, by the way, Pete Alonso played every game. 2 years, 2019 and 2021, are the only 2 years where he played in over 150 games. Since then, forget it. And last year, I think he played 130 because I'm sure he knew it was a walk year, so I have to, So he predicts Murakami to be on the White Sox. The White Sox? Why would he go there? Listen, all I can say is this. David Stearns, and this to you. I know you're not watching, listening, whatever, but this to you. I don't care if you paid $20 million a year. You're going to have to play him somewhere. You're not going to play him at second because of Semien. Obviously not short. Maybe third, but then you got Beatty, Mauricio. He should be a third baseman. Why not? Sign Murakami, and in fact, go to Murakami's camp and say, I understand that you've never played first base. You'll take a first base mitt. We need your power because obviously he brings power. Come to New York. If we win a World Series, you'll be a hero here. LA, they've already won titles. And I understand you have your fellow countrymen that are there in a one, Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Roki Sasaki. I get that. And I understand you may want to sign, and who knows, you may end up signing with them when it's all said and done. But if you play here, we have not won a World Series. I understand 40 years. We went to an NLCS 2 years ago. But if you win here and you're contributing and a big contributor to that, you will be a hero here for life. You think they would do that? Of course not. They're the Mets. It's just aggravating. It just really is. Val, as always, thank you. What'd you do? You passed your biology class Monday. All right. Congratulations. Good for you. Sharks won yesterday. How about that goal by Macklin Celebrini? Yeah, Will Smith didn't play. John Tyler Macklin scored. Yeah, Macklin, that one goal he had was a spinorama move. That was really good. A little bit reminiscent of the goal that he yes, no, I appreciate that, Val. And I know I pay attention to the stuff you send to me on Twitter too, so I don't want you to think that. I know I'm not on Twitter as much as I should, but I appreciate you, and I appreciate your contributions there, and let me know and informing me on stuff on Twitter. So I just want you to know that. But yeah, Steelers. Yeah, no, they did. I appreciate that. Yeah, and Tua, yeah, he got benched. Yeah, Tua is not the answer there. You got, if you saw, they're going to start Quinn Ewers. So Zach Wilson, who I thought was the backup, they're going to Quinn Ewers, kid out of Texas. And which reminds me, good for Arch Manning staying in school another year at Texas because he is not NFL ready, which is not a shocker going out on a limb by any means. But let's see. So, yeah, that's what I got, people. That is what's happening. Sports, etc., everything else that's going on. Let me get to one other thing, too, before I sign off. So I got 2 more Wednesday live streams, both on the eves, Christmas, New Year's. I know I put the cart before the horse last week because I got excited just thinking about how I want to convert the podcast that you hear every Monday and Thursday, Apple, Spotify, of course, here on YouTube, to where I want to make the live stream the podcast. But then I also, based on a few of the comments here, because of the time frame and the time difference to a certain extent, because I know Val and Bio out on the West Coast, you're 3 hours behind us, where to have it in the evening. And that's something that I've been contemplating left and right. Obviously, I have to make sure that everything is sound on my end to do that. Not just from a technology standpoint, but, running past the misses, which we talked about it a little bit, but to the point where, hey, if I'm going to do a live stream, let's say Wednesdays in the evening, or let's say twice, let's say Monday and Wednesday, or maybe Monday and Thursday, who knows? So I'm trying to work out the schedule with her because obviously during the day, she's in the office, where at night, of course, she's going to be here. And to hear me babble for an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever, I want to make sure that she's on board for that. And that's one of the things that I want going into 2026, to have that, because that first week right out of the gate, and you'll know ahead of time when the live stream will be. And I just want to be sure, locked, loaded, ready to go, that once it's official, I'll share it with you guys and gals, definitely before the end of the year, maybe next week's live stream for sure, because on the 31st, I'm planning to do an epic live stream. And as I mentioned last week, and I'll say now, I will reveal next Wednesday what that live stream is going to be about. Like I said, it's going to be outdoors. So there is a weather element that could be involved in this. So that's why I haven't officially put out what the New Year's Eve live stream is going to be. Now, we'll say this. It's going to be a little bit earlier, but it's still going to be interactive. It's not going to be interactive through the links here that I usually post for Wednesdays. Just giving you a couple of heads up, but it's going to be epic. And you just have to tune in to see. So, and don't worry, as far as like start time and all that, I haven't determined that yet, but you'll get all that information, I promise, next week. I'll unpack it. We'll discuss it, etc. Get your thoughts. And yeah, it's going to be, there's no other way to put it. It's just going to be that epic. And a little bit different too. What you got here, Val? If the Mets trade Lindor, I think I'm done, Zip. Let's see. Depends on who they get back. Yeah, and when you heard about this stuff with the Padres, the first thing I thought of was like, oh, geez, they're going to trade Lindor for Tatis. I had Lindor and Tatis mixed up, as you heard. And that would make sense because they'd have to trade the contracts. Now, there's more to Tatis's contract than Lindor. Lindor, I think, has 6 more years left, where Tatis, did he sign a 14-year deal? So Tatis probably has at least 10 more years left. But that's the only way they can match it. And that would be head straight up. But I don't know if I'm the Padres, I wouldn't do that because of Tatis, the flair, all that he brings. But then my worry is Tatis and Soto. Do those guys get along in San Diego? So that's why I didn't think that would work. But if Lindor got traded, would I be done? I got to see what they get back. Because if they get back, and I can speculate all I want and talk about. Let me ask you this. Now that I think about it, Zip, did you hear about the mock trade that Evan Roberts talked about on WFAN? See what you think about this. The mock trade had Lindor going to LA for Andy Pages. Yeah, it wasn't Mookie Betts. So it was Pages. Oh, Tyler Glasnow. And get ready for the last one. Freddie Freeman. Freeman to play first base. You get your masher. Pages, you get your center fielder. Although he was awful in the postseason, he couldn't hit worth a lick. But has power, has a good glove. And you get a starting pitcher in Glasnow, which to me is made out of glass. The guy's always hurt. He's talented, live arm, but that guy can't stay healthy. So, yeah, I wouldn't make that deal if I was David Stearns, and thank God I'm not. Val, I was surprised he got benched. Why that late, though? Do you think Mike McDaniel made the right choice? Listen, he was not great in the game the other day, and I am surprised only because they're paying the guy $50 million a year. He's got 2 more years left on his deal. I guess he wants to see what he has in Quinn Ewers. Now, I don't know what Ewers is going to bring here at this point of the year. The Dolphins, obviously, they're eliminated. They play the Bengals, the Buccaneers at home, and then they end up in New England to close out the year. I guess he wants to see what he has, but here's my problem. He wants to see what he has, but Tua is your quarterback. You can't cut him. Or you can, of course, but do you know what their cap hit is as far as dead cap money goes? I believe he's owed $99 million the next 2 years. And next year, his salary is $54 million. I mean, what do? You just can't say, we're going to cut him and that's it. And then Quinn Ewers is our starter. I mean, you could, but that dead cap money is going to be enormous. So, listen, I'm a little surprised. I get it. He probably wants to see what he has in Ewers, and even if they trade Tua, I mean, who's going to want him? I mean, that's the other thing. So, yeah, I was surprised too, despite the fact that he did not play well in the game Monday night. But, yeah, that to me, that didn't make any sense. And I don't know how. Even if Ewers is 3-0 and he's the second coming of John Elway, I mean, what do you do with Tua and the dead money that's going to be left in your cap? Next Monday, going to Alaska with families. All right, great. You going on a cruise or are you going to Alaska? Oh, here we go. No, I appreciate that, Val. What part of Alaska, A, and B, are you doing a cruise or are you actually going to be in Alaska? Yeah, Warriors tomorrow. Playing, Phoenix. Yeah, I know a game under 500, by the way. No, that's all right, Val. As long as you join, does not matter. What's this? Have the Giants do anything yet? No, they've been quiet. They haven't done much. Mets, did they sign good players? Well, they signed Devin Williams. Is he good? I guess he's a good closer, last year notwithstanding. And you know about Luke Weaver today. Do they even go for Cody Bellinger? We'll have to wait and see on that. But, hang on. Shark Tank, that's the name we call it. Yes, that is a Shark Tank, the SAP Center. Yes, they have been playing well. Tua was that a bad contract? Oh, without question. Awful contract. It's awful because the guy looks like he's well removed from the concussions that he suffered a few years ago, but he doesn't have a big arm. He doesn't really scramble. He's small in stature. Those are 3 negatives as far as playing the position in the sport. Yeah, I heard, but no, everything about Stern says fire sale and Soto. Get me out of here. Yeah, that's the rough thing because Soto. Oh, the reason why I came here is because of family, because I like the team. It's a lot better constructed than the Yankees. Yeah, has anybody seen Juan Soto recently to ask him that? Rough, I tell you, just the Met team can't get out of their own way. They just cannot. And the crazy thing is that Steve Cohen, there must be some George Steinbrenner-esque in him because just like Steinbrenner in the mid-'90s when he signed Dow Strawberry, Dwight Gooden, David Cohn, was there anybody else? He had these affinity for ex-Mets. And now here it is, Steve Cohen bringing in all these ex-Yankees. Nilichuk, Alaska, I'm going there. We'll stay there at a house, but there. All right, good. What's the weather in Nilichuk, Alaska right now? Let's see. Oh, excuse me. A fishing charter. Weather. Today. I'm sure it's rather frigid. It's only 14 degrees. So that's your weather report in Nilichuk, Alaska. What else do I have, people? I think that's going to do it for today's live stream. Yeah, so those are my 2 more Wednesday live streams, as you know. And the 2026 plans, like I mentioned, you'll know more about the plans for the live stream next week. And then you have the scenario regarding the New Year's Eve live stream. All that coming at you the next 2 weeks. So, of course, I do my podcast pregame live before the pregame tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. on YouTube, which I may even pivot from that too, especially if I'm going to do the nighttime live streams because, that to me, it was just like an extra add-on. And I've had some good responses. I've had some people hop on board that find me through that and have been a part of the festivities, whether it's Critique Channel. Another guy just recently found me through the podcast pregame. Was it The Thrill? The Thrill 2877, I believe, was another one. But anyway, 9:30 tomorrow. You already know about the podcast, which will come at you tomorrow. I'd say in the 12:30 hour, latest edition. You already know. Apple, Spotify, jreels.com, the website, of course, on YouTube right here. And that's what I have. Another live stream coming down to the wire, to the books. If you have any last-minute comments, let me throw that on here too. Obviously, you got to subscribe, leave a comment on YouTube if you haven't done so already. I'd appreciate that enormously. So post your comments. I'll be happy to follow up. There you go. Any last thoughts from the chat room? Now is your time to get at me as I close out another live stream. Always a pleasure to bring these live streams. Looking forward to these next 2 to close out in a festive mood. Maybe I'll have a little, who knows? Maybe I'll have some eggnog here. Why not? I'm not going to get wasted, but maybe I'll make some and, or it'll be Puerto Rican eggnog, a little coquito, which I'll have. So instead of H2O, what the hell? We'll be festive. And then New Year's Eve will be a little different. So I can't wait for that. I just hope that the weather cooperates. That's all it is. And it could be 2 degrees outside, which I know may be dangerous. The wife may say, no, don't do it. Obviously you got to listen to the wife. But yeah, hopefully it's just like today. Today, I think it's in the 40s in New York. So in the morning, let's say if it's in the low 30s, that's fine. Maybe even upper 30s. Let it be upper 30s to get to the 40s. I will take that in a heartbeat. So, but that'll do it. Another live stream just about in the books. As always, thank you so much for stopping by, carving out precious time out of your day to listen to what it is I have to say about what's happening in the wonderful world of sports. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe, rate, review on YouTube. Whatever it is, take a screenshot of it, send it to your family, friends, foes, frenemies, the casual, diehard sports fan in their lives and in your lives as well. Send it to me on my socials, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, the J Reels Podcast. On Instagram, just J Reels as well. Twitter, J Reels1, just the number. Also on Twitch, people, J Reels1 again. Any questions, comments, suggestions, you could do so at the aforementioned social media accounts or the J Reels Podcast at gmail.com. I'll be more than happy to follow up with you guys and gals because whether you do or do not know, this is what I love to do. This is why I quit my job. And Lord knows I got to start earning some income here, which I have some opportunities you'll have to see in the weeks to come, especially who's going to the new year. I have not only some merch that I'm working on. I have a little bit of merch left, but some other bigger merch I want to work on, which will also hopefully facilitate that on top of some platforms, other platforms. I know there's a million of them out there when it comes to socials, whatever, but exclusive stuff that if you join the podcast through this particular site that I have, I'll have various exclusive content that will just be strictly for you guys because obviously you're paying for it, or you will pay for it, knock on wood. So that is one that you will certainly, hopefully, be a part of. But with all that being said, I'm just grateful. I'm thankful to host these on a weekly basis, and hopefully it'll be more than just a week. It'll be twice a week. Who knows? But again, as we get into 2026, you'll know more about that at that time. But as I like to say, whether you do or do not know, this is what I love to do. Passion, energy, fire, fury. As long as I'm sitting in front of this microphone and camera, you know I will deliver that and then some when it comes to everything and anything that's happening on the world of the diamond, ice, gridiron, hardwood, golf course, racetrack, tennis court, boxing ring, octagon, you name it. From my lips to your ears, from my heart to your soul, from where I am to wherever you are, the J-Reels live stream always comes live, correct, directed, in full effect. Also, shout out to Terrence Bud Crawford for retiring, 42-0, beat Canelo Alvarez, as you know, 31 knockouts. So he goes off into retirement. So before I really say my goodbyes, last but not least, yes, thank you, Val. Hold on. Val got a few here. Draymond Green. I never liked these too emotional. Do you think he'll stay with the Warriors? Well, I think he will because he signed that contract, 2 years ago? So I think after this year, he has 2 more years. So yes, I don't think he'll be traded. Hopefully he can stay playing basketball and not being so emotional. Yeah, it's typical Draymond, though. Thank you, Val, for the good live and a thumbs up. Aaron Rodgers looks, hey, last 2 weeks he has, and your two teams certainly doing well there when it comes to the San Jose Sharks and the San Francisco 49ers. From the South Bronx, the South Beach, the South Central, the South Pacific, and all points beyond, peace, love, and God bless everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Tomorrow, 9:30, podcast pregame right here on YouTube. And, of course, look out for the podcast tomorrow as well in the 12 to 1 o'clock range. Probably 12:30 would be the sweet spot on the aforementioned Apple, Spotify, and, of course, here on YouTube. With that being said, people, enjoy the rest of your hump day. Hopefully, I'll see you guys tomorrow on the live. And until next time, on the flip, baby.